So, in the last two classes, we are discussing about module 5. Okay. So, as I said earlier, the module 4 will be completed in the form of a guest lecture. One senior faculty will be handling that module 4. So we will complete module 5. Okay. So, first we have discussed what is technical writing, and there we have compared what is the difference between technical writing and literary writing. Okay, and also we have learned about letter writing. So as I said earlier, there are three types of letter: formal letter, informal letter, and semi-formal letter. That also we have discussed. Then we have seen what is job application. So normally job application is sent along with the with your resume. Uh, in order to give some additional information about you and your skills and experience. And then we have seen the body of job application is in the form introduction, then body, that is relevant qualification, then a closing remarks. And then we have seen what is minutes and we have seen about minutes. Okay, minutes preparation. So it is a record actually. So whenever there is a meeting, we will minutes the meeting. We will write decisions of or discussion of the particular meeting, and then it will be become an approved document. It will be duly signed, and so that the people who didn't attend the meeting can refer this document, and by referring so he will be able to understand what are the current rule or what are the current situation, what is the job allocated to him. A lot of information it will convey. And then we have seen what is the difference between biodata, CV, and resume. So biodata is a biological data where the information like father's name, mother's name, height, weight, etc. will be provided. And sometimes some skills, background knowledge that and also will be provided. And then also we have seen what is CV, curriculum vitae. It is course of life. So it is more detailed than a resume. That means it contains all your experience, all your degrees, okay, and highlights general talents, etc. So normally this is used by experienced people whenever they are applying for a new job. And then we have resume. This is a short summary of your skill, education, and experience. So uh, it is normally used by professional or students who or freshers, I can say, like freshers, when they are completed their course and applying for a new job. Freshers or 1 or 2 years experience, they will be using resumes. Okay, so uh, I have advice for you, that is after 4 years, you also have to prepare a resume. So, what are the important things should be there in the resume? As I said in the previous class, you should include your skill, education, experience, accomplishment, ability, and talent. Okay, so this you should have something about these things to write in your resume. So now itself you focus on all these things. That means you should education. Okay, that you definitely will get if you complete this course. Okay, that part is okay. Education is you can write the details of SSLC plus two and your BTech, and then also you can do some courses that also you can include in that. Okay, then you can go for some internship so that you can write, even though it is a 1 week, 2 week, or 1 month or 6 month experience, you can write in the experience column about the internship you conduct. You did. Okay, so try to go for some internship so that you can write it here. Okay, so if that internship exactly matches with the job profile of the company, surely they will select you. Or whenever they are asking questions about that particular job, you will be able to answer it because it is related to their job profile. And then accomplishment and ability and talent. So you can participate in a lot of activities, and if you get some certificate, you can keep it in a certificate file along with your BTech degree or SLC plus 2 certificate. So now itself, you focus on uh, what you should include in your resume when you are preparing resume after completion of your BTech. So who has more content relevant to that particular job profile listed by that company, so they will be selected, or those person will be able to answer most of the question asked by interviewer. Okay. Then we will see about report. So what is a report? It is a short, sharp, concise document which is written for a particular purpose and audience. Okay, it's a short, sharp, okay, short comma sharp, concise document which is written for a particular purpose and audience. Okay, so for example, uh, government official will be preparing a report regarding the COVID cases in Kerala or in India. That means they will be uh, analyzing all the data around various districts or states, depends on. So if suppose they are preparing for Kerala, they will be analyzing the day by day cases in Kerala, then other factors like TPR and all, and they will prepare a report. What is the reason? Okay, from that, what is the current problem? The cases are not getting lowered, it is still in the high, uh, still high. Okay, the cases are more than 20,000 now. So they can list down what are the issues there. Okay, why cases are increasing. Then they can give some data. These are the data which is for the last 1 month, and what can be done to reduce this. They can suggest. So that is the kind of report. If you read the sentence again, this short, sharp, concise document written for a particular purpose and audience. So maybe they are preparing this particular document for a government official in order to take some serious decision like lockdown and all. Maybe they are writing like that. Maybe they want to inform the central government about the current situation of Kerala. They will be preparing a report like that. Or even in the evening, if they want to uh, inform all the detail to press and media, they will be writing a report. So report is a short, sharp, concise document that is which is written for a particular purpose and audience. Okay, it generally sets out analysis of a situation or problem, often making recommendation for future action. So as I said, okay, first, what is the problem? So corona cases are not reducing in Kerala or so and so district. It is not getting reduced. So that is a problem or that is a situation. Okay, then they can do the analysis. So what are the reason? So from one person, how to how many person it is spreading, they can analyze. If they are following all the protocol, whether that peoples of that particular district or panchayat is following that much all those protocol, like that they can do some analysis and they can recommend future action. So from tomorrow onwards, lockdown for that particular panchayat or for particular district, they can plan like that. Okay, a report may contain some or all of the following elements. Okay, it is a description of sequence of event or a situation. It can be like that. Maybe they have done some function, and that function is having a lot of event like that. From morning 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, this particular event was happened. Later, after that, this particular event was happened. Like that, a lot of events are there. Then, if in the end of the day, if they are preparing a report, they can give a description of sequence of event or a situation which has happened during that program. And the second point on is always it is carefully referenced. So whenever there when there are reports are referencing, that means regarding the same COVID cases. Uh, they are preparing and they are analyzing the data. So they have to put a reference that from where they are taking the data. Okay, today this much cases are there, yesterday this much cases are there, like that. Or if suppose they are preparing a data about vaccination details, so they can refer those data from some other website or from government or central government or COVID site, how many people are taken the vaccination, like that. So when you are doing such references, you have to do it carefully, because if someone is reading that report and found that the reference is wrong, so then he won't understand anything about that particular report. Then, okay, first one is a description of sequence of event or situation. Second one is it is always carefully referenced. Then, an evaluation of fact or the result of your research. Okay, it will contain, a report will contain an evaluation of the fact or result of your research. As I said earlier, we are analyzing COVID cases, so we will be having some data. These are the fact actually, and then we will analyze. Okay, so that is after analysis we will be having some suggestions. So that is comes in the result. Discussion of the likely outcomes of future courses of action, uh, and then your recommendation as to a courses of action, then finally the conclusion. Okay, so normally the form of report will be like this: the present scenario, presently what is happening, and then so that present scenario will be detailedly analysis and analyzed, and then they will come to a conclusion. They will propose something. If the next paragraph, what will happen, or next chapter, what will happen? Based on this analysis, they will suggest you something. And as a conclusion, if you do those suggestions, if you implement those suggestions, you will get those results. So that will be a complete report. Okay, once again, first it will describe what is the sequence of event. It may, okay, it is not necessary that all these points should come. Uh, okay, it will a description of sequence of event or situation can be there in a report, and it should be always carefully referenced, and then there should be some evaluation of fact and result, some analysis, then discussion of the likely columns, likely outcomes of future courses of action, then recommendation as to a course of action, then finally conclusion. So again, as I said, first they will be analyzing present COVID cases in Kerala, for example, uh, and they will be analyzing whether it is increasing, whether it is decreasing, whether what about the TPR, uh, which are the area actually it is spreading more, where and all it is spreading very less. So they will be all they will understand the situation, and then they will take some data and analyze and do the analysis. Okay, suppose there will be cases where almost all the vaccinations are done and the cases are very low, and there will be some cases where vaccinations are not done, even though cases are very less. Like that, many cases will be there. So they will do the analysis, and based on that, they will suggest something. And finally, they will also inform you that if suppose if you follow or if you implement all those suggestions, you will be getting so and so result. Okay, so that's about a report. So what is the main important sentence in this paragraph is it is a short, sharp, concise document which is written for a particular purpose and audience. Okay. Now, while preparing a document or a report, or even a resume or any document, we have to follow some writing style, that is elements of style. Okay. Whenever you are, for example, whenever you are writing a report or resume or biodata or you can say CV or any other technical writing, uh, you should follow some kind of styles. That is what I'm going to explain. First one is clarity. That is, the logical flow of the document will help reader understand the content. Okay, there should be a logical uh, flow. That means if you know when suppose you have a textbook where some chapters are there, and how we will proceed in that. The first chapter will be the base of this that particular text, and after that, eh, what they will write based on this first chapter. The second chapter will be little more advanced, and like that it will go. If I write, if suppose the fifth chapter is most advanced, is having most advanced topic of that particular uh, textbook, and if I return as the first chapter, then nobody will understand that. Okay. First, we should start from the base and then we have to elaborate the content. So, whenever we are writing document, also there should be a logical flow. Okay. So, once again, I will explain you that logical flow means, for example, if you consider a textbook, assume that there are five chapters. First, normally, how we will keep the first chapter as a base chapter, and then we will uh, uh, some theory, for example, some theory content. After that, we will increase the toughness of the chapter, and the last chapter will be having it more tough compared to all other chapters. So, if suppose someone write the fifth chapter as the first one and first chapter of the last one, nobody will understand that particular report or document. Okay, so there should be some kind of flow. So, for example, whenever you are writing report, it should introduce the topic first, what it is, what you are going to say in this particular document, and then there should be some analysis. Then there should be some suggestions, and there should be some implementation part, and some result. So, if suppose if you write the implementation part in the first, and later the topic description, so nobody will be interested in that particular document. So clarity means it is a logical flow of the document and will help readers understand the content. So how we can check this? So it can be useful to ask someone who is not familiar with the topic to review your writing before you finalize it. So if suppose you have written a document, you can hand over that document to uh, some other person who is not familiar with that particular uh, topic to read it, and whether he understand all those topics, even though he doesn't read, he not familiar with that topic, sometimes because of the because of your writing, he may be able to capture all the content because it is having some logical flow. Um, Okay, so what you have to do is after writing, hand over or give it to someone who is not familiar with that topic, and ask him to read it and take his suggestion, whether he understood anything, which are the parts in which it is not clear for him, that you can note it down. So based on that, you can do some uh, changes. Using heading, illustration, graphs, or table can be useful. Your aim is to make it easy as possible for your reader to understand what you have written. Okay, so you are doing analysis and all, if you're simply writing this one is that much percentage of the other one, this much is that one percentage. If you're writing lot about percentage and uh, division, something like that, instead of that, if you give some pie chart or diagrams like bar graph, etc., the people who is reading will be able to analyze it all the data from that graph or chart itself. So better you use a lot of heading, illustration, graphs, and tables, so that it is easy for the reader. For example, again, I can take the COVID cases. If you write simply in one paragraph, in Kannur the cases are 2000, in Calicut the cases are 3000, and in Kasaragod the cases are 500. Like that, if you simply write, the people won't read all those things. Instead of that, you can put a table, Kannur district and number of cases. Then in that table, first column you can write number all the district name and all the number of cases in all the in each of the district. So that is one way of explaining things more clearly instead of writing everything about that. So similarly, tables you can use, graph you can use illustration, you can use diagrams, you can use flowchart, etc. So whatever it may be, uh, the ultimate aim of you is to make your reader to understand what you have written. Okay, he should not read it 2 or 3 times to understand the concept within a reading or within one complete reading. He should able to understand the full concept. So that is what you have to uh, follow. One method, one style you have to follow when you are writing a document, like report. Okay, even you can follow the same thing for uh, resume also. Whether your qualification, where your experience are conveyed, that you can check using this sentence. Next one is accuracy. The second one is accuracy. The information and interpretation of data that you present must be accurate. Okay, there should be any error in that. Okay, you should take the data from a relevant source, because instead of taking data from some COVID data from some government site or uh, government press releases, if you take it from Google or Facebook, something like that, there may some error. Okay, so you take data from accurate sources, you process it and check that whether all data are correct, that you can do. And third one is brevity. Okay, strive to find the balance between amount of information presented and the time needed to read the document. That means brevity means select the most appropriate words, or use the most appropriate words or sentences. Okay, sometimes for you to explain, for us to explain a simple thing, we may require 3 to 4 sentences. But instead, if you use more appropriate sentence or words, you can explain the same thing in one sentence. Okay, so brevity means use of appropriate words or sentence, so that maximum amount of information is conveyed. Okay. So similarly, if you explain any concept like that, you can also use appendix or links to provide supplementary supplementary or background information. Okay, so similarly, if you are making it in a very less content, if you are making it in a very less content, you can use some a link or appendix or supplementary or background information to provide support for that. As I said, again, COVID cases for last 1 month, if I am analyzing, I can give a link of government site or government data website, so that no need to include all this data into the report, because people will just read your report, and they will understand what should be done or what should be uh, implemented for that particular problem. That only they will do. And if you provide all this data of 1 month or 1 week, people won't read that. Only few people who is much more interested in that topic will read all those topics. So if suppose if you provide some link or something else about this data, then only those interested can go to that particular website or document, uh, and they can do the analysis. Next one is sentence length. So generally, complex or unfamiliar concepts are best presented in shorter sentences. So you have to reduce the length of sentence. This will give reader time to digest small pieces of information before moving into the next. Okay, you should not keep long sentences. Better you make it short. That is the meaning of sentence length. Then paragraph. Okay, paragraph means the old age rule about one topic per paragraph is useful for useful gate. Okay, so for one topic you can explain in one paragraph. You can follow in that method. Follow that particular method. Okay, so you should not write in such a way that you have started the first paragraph, then every content you are writing in the same paragraph and ending with one paragraph. This is not a proper method. You can take that introduction in one paragraph and then analysis. If suppose analysis also having many sessions, then you can divide into small paragraph. Then you can write your suggestions as separate paragraph. If suppose there also some more contents are there, they can you can divide it into one or two paragraph. Like that, you can separate the content into many paragraph, and also ensure that you should have some content. Okay, you should not end one paragraph with two or three sentences, simply like that. You have to also make sure that one paragraph says enough, conveys enough information to the reader. Then the last point is reader centricity. Okay, so you are writing for your readers. Make it as easy as possible for them to understand your work. Okay. My suggestion is after writing all the document, as I said earlier, give it to some other people. Check whether he understand anything. Some other people means some other people who doesn't know about this particular topic, and check whether he understand anything. So if not, take his feedback. In what way he can improve the writing. So depends on that. You can also do some analysis and you can change your writing so that your reader, if you do some hard work also, your reader will be able to understand most of the concept within a single reading. Okay, that you can do ensure. So what we have learned as a part of element of style, clarity is the first point, then accuracy, brevity, then we have learned sentence length, paragraph and reader sense. Then, okay, so far what we have discussed is, first we have discussed what is a report, uh, how we should write a report, then we have uh, learned about elements of style when we are preparing a document. Yeah. Same thing you can follow for your resume curriculum vitae or biodata also. So whenever you are writing a technical, uh, whenever you are performing a technical writing, you can follow all these rules. Then what are the common errors in writing? So that is the next topic. So whenever you are writing a technical thing, you have to uh, notice about these common errors. So we should avoid the word like I or we throughout the document. So we should not use the word I or we. Okay. So I have seen when students are submitting project report, whenever I have seen whenever people are submitting project report, they used to write like that. I have analyzed these things, and I and my friends came to know about the particular portion. We brought this component from this particular place, and we have assembled it. We have tested it. Like that, people used to write. So we should not write like that. Okay, even when you are writing a report, I have analyzed so and so detail. From this details, we have come to a conclusion that like that sentence we can avoid, and that means the entire document should be written in third person. Okay, so remember that you are reporting, not advertising or advocating. Okay. So you are just reporting the all those details. It is not like you are advertising yourself or your company, or you are just questioning anything, advocating. So that is the first point. Okay, so we should avoid the use of I or we. Okay, and entire document should be written in the form of you are writing as a third person. And second point, the entire document should be in past tense. Okay, so entire document should be written in past tense, and do not shift the tense in the middle of the document. Okay, so do not shift the tense in the middle of the document. So common mistake. And do not start a sentence with so. Okay, this also there. So, for example, like after explaining the first paragraph, there will be some reason for writing the first paragraph. They will automatically start the second paragraph like so. We can do the following things to uh, conclude, or something like that. You can write. Or similarly, you should not start a sentence with but or however, like that. I have seen this one many times. People are writing however in the next paragraph or sentence. Also, do not start or end a sentence with to. So these things we should not use when you are writing a report or document. Okay, so that is about common errors in writing. So we should not use, or we should avoid using I or we throughout the document, and then the entire document should be written in past tense. Do not shift the tense in the middle of the sentence, and do not use the words so, then but, uh, however, then to, etc. Then describing a process. So that is the next topic. Description of a process. A process is actually a series of action, or fundamentally, description of a process is the description of action. Okay, so that means whenever you are describing a process means, for example, so for example, learning is a process. Okay, we are listening to something, or we are reading a textbook. Then after that, we are trying to uh, note down the important point, or you are trying to understand the concept of what it is written, and finally you are planning it to keep it in your memory, or you are writing it down somewhere else. So it is a process. Or if you say, take some example of some machines, it is also a process, like mixing, or for example a mixer grinder. So we are putting some rice and all into that mixer grinder. We are switching it on, it is rotating, and it will give you a powder. Uh, okay, so it is a process. Okay, there is an input, there is an output, and we are doing something on that input to make this particular output. So that's a process. Okay, there are two types of process actually. One is the attention is focused on the performance of a human being. So that is first kind of process. Or the second types involve action of human operator, either not directly concerned at all. Okay, so one is one type of process is it should include the performance of a human being. Okay, second one is direct human involvement is not involved in that particular process. Okay, so if suppose if there is a equipment, if we are explaining about an equipment and material, then its description will be organized as follows. If you are explaining, or if you are explaining the process of uh, equipment or material, we should write in this similar format. That is, first you have to give introduction, uh, about those equipments and what they are using, why they are using, what are the advantages of that. That introduction you have to give. Then you have to tell about those equipment and their use and applications, etc. Then how to perform the operation on that equipment, that you have to write, and you have to do the conclusion. Okay, again, suppose if you have some screwdriver, spanner set like that, first we are introducing by where we are using all these things, and then we are writing about screwdriver. There are two different types, star type, like that. We are giving some detailed description, and then we are explaining about spanner, about their size and all. Then where you have to use, that will be described, and finally the conclusion that you can write. Okay, we can conclude today's class. So today we have discussed about report, uh, how a reports, what is a report, how a reports looks like, that we have discussed. Then we have seen what are the elements of style you have to follow when you are writing a document. That is clarity, then accuracy, brevity, sentence length, then we have paragraph, reader, centricity, etc. Then we have discussed common errors in writing. Then we have explained how to describe a process. Okay, that is today's class. Let me take the attendance now. Ardra Anil,
Present, sir.
Abhijit K,
Present, sir.
Abhijit KP,
Present, sir.
Abhiraj P, Abhiraj, Abhin VK,
Present, sir.
Aditya V,
Present, sir.